हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जाय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 84, text number 27 to 30. So 30th is on the board. I'll just read 27th sloka and translation. Srisuka Vacha iti anugnapyadasharham Dhritarashram Yudhistiram Rajarshe Swashraman Gantum Munayo Dadire Manaha. Translation. Sukadeva Goswami said, having thus spoken, O wise king, the sages then took leave of Lord Dasharha, Dhritarashtra and Yudhishthira and prepared to depart for their ashramas. So there is a chapter entitled The Sages' Teachings at Kurukshetra. Tadvikshyatanupavratya Vasudevo Mahayashaha Pranamya Babasedam Suyantrita. Seeing that they were about to leave, the renowned Vasudeva approached the sages. After bowing down to them and touching their feet, he spoke to them with carefully chosen words. 29th sloka. Sri Vasudeva Uvacha Namo Va Sarvadevebhya Rishaya Shrotum Arhata Karmana Karma Nirharo Yatasyannastaduchatam. Sri Vasudeva said, obeisances to you, the residents of all the demigods. Please hear me, O sages. Kindly tell us how the reactions of one's work can be counteracted by further work. Purport by the divine disciples of His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada disciples ki jai. Here Vasudeva addresses the sages as the residents of all the demigods. His statement is confirmed in the authoritative Shruti mantras which declare 𝐂𝐻𝐈𝐍 devatastha sarva veda vidhi brahmane vasanti. Whatever demigods exist, all reside in a brahmana who knows the Veda. So text 30th. Sri Narada Uvacha Nati Chitram Idam Vipra Vasudevo Bubutsaya Krishna Matvarbakam Vyannaha Prichati Sreya Atmanaha. Sri Narada Uvacha Nati Chitram Idam Vipra Vasudevo Bubutsaya Krishna Matvarbakam Vyannaha Prichati Sreya Atmana. Sri Narada Uvacha Nati Chitram Idam Vipra Vasudevo Bubutsaya Krishna Matvarbakam Vyannaha Prichati Sreya Atmanaha. Sri Narada Uvacha Nati Chitram Idam Vipra Vasudevo Bubutsaya Krishna Matvarbakam Vyannaha. Vasudevo Bhutsaya. Natichitram vidam vipra Vasudevo Krishnam Prichati Shreya Atmana. So word to word meaning. Sri Narada Vacha. Sri Narada said, Na, not, Ati, very, Chitram, wonderful, Idam, this, Vipra, O Brahmanas, Vasudeva, Vasudeva, Bubutsaya, with the desire of learning, Krishnam, Lord Krishna, Matva, thinking, Arbakam, a boy, yet the fact that Naha, from us, Prichati, he asks, Shreya, about the highest good, Atmanaha, for himself. Translation and purport by the divine disciples of His Divine Grace, Abhay Sharanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Sri Narada Muni said, O Brahmanas, it is not so amazing that in his eagerness to know, Vasudeva has asked us about his ultimate benefit. For he considers Krishna a mere boy. Purport. Srila Jiva Goswami relates Narada's thoughts. Sri Narada understood how Vasudeva, in line with his mood of pretending to be an ordinary householder, asked the sages about Karma Yoga. Although he had already attained spiritual goals even great yogis and rishis cannot achieve. But Narada was still concerned that Vasudeva might create an awkward mood by treating Lord Krishna as a mere child in the presence of all the sages. Narada and the other sages felt obliged to maintain their attitude of reverence toward Lord Krishna. So, how could they ignore him and presume to answer Vasudeva themselves? To avoid this embarrassment, Narada took this opportunity to remind everyone present of Sri Krishna's absolute supremacy. मज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्या ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेमा प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरद्विषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिय नीलाचला निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रा सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So welcome each and every one of you for the Srimad Bhagavatam class. So today is a very auspicious day of Ekadashi, and here we can see Krishna and all the residents of Mathura in a very auspicious place of Kurukshetra. So here we can see that the sages were being approached by Vasudeva, and Vasudeva, in his humility and um, very humble disposition, he approached the sages, and he was submitting himself to honor the great sages. So, in fact, this is a mood one should approach the great personalities. Like we can see how Vasudeva is setting an example of the mood of approaching the sages. तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनः सत्त्वदर्शिनः. So actually Vasudeva already knows the tattva. Um Acharyas mentioned that point. In fact, Srimad Bhagavatam in the beginning, I mean 10th canto in the beginning, second, third chapters, Krishna himself tells that they have done, Vasudeva and Devaki, they have done tapasya for 12,000 celestial years. And actually, previously they were children of Lord Brahma, and for them 12,000 celestial years is nothing. So you can, they're very exalted personalities, Vasudeva and Devaki. So they already knows the tattva, and still they're setting an example here. And at the same time, very important point comes how the acharyas, Narad Muni is the acharya in Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Guru Shishya Sampradaya. So how he is setting example, I mean how he is uh, revealing the uh, truth, or giving the purport, want to clarify the situation for all the sages, so that there won't be any um, other concept, a risk of falling into a misconception of the absolute truth. So many times when devotees are very humble, um, like they present themselves in a very humble mood. So, there is a chance of getting into a different understanding. So here we can see even Arjuna also, he himself tells in Bhagavad Gita that ahustvam rishaye sarve, Devarshi Naradastata, Narada Muni, he points to this point, Narada Muni, how he accepts you as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Asito, Devalo, Vyasa, they all accept supremacy of the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, supremacy of Lord Krishna. And Swayam Chaiva Pravisime. And then he tells that you yourself are now revealing your supremacy. Lord Krishna reveals his supremacy in Bhagavad Gita. So there is in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 10.11 and 12, this slokas come. So, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam, Adidevam, Ajam, Vibhum. So, his Param Brahma, his Supreme Brahman and Supreme Abode, supremely pure, and he is Adi Purusha, Purusham Shashvatam. He is the eternal Supreme Personality. He is an eternal Purusha, and he is an eternal enjoyer. And Adi Devam is the original personality. Even Bhishma also tells Adyo Narayana Puman. He is Adi Narayana. So, and he tells that even the great personalities can be bewildered by your personality. Even they cannot understand. Adyo Narayana Puman. So, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Transcendental. Adidevam Ajam Unborn. Vibhum Supreme. So, Ajam Unborn. So, I was just reading the 10th canto, 3rd chapter. So, there I was saying how Lord Krishna appeared first as Lord Vishnu to Mother Devaki and Vasudeva. And then he wanted to confirm that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And his appearance is not like ordinary appearance of a child. He, from the mind of Vasudeva, he entered into heart of Mother Devaki, and then he appeared. So it is transcendental, completely transcendental. Divyam, Adi Devam, Ajam. There is no birth actually. In fact, Krishna, he appeared but he didn't appear at the same time. So, Ajam and Vibhum. So, his supreme, infinite spirit. So, there is one more pastime of Nanda Maharaj. So, Nanda Maharaj wanted to take bath in Prayag to purify himself of all the karma. He thinks like that. He is, out of humility, the devotees always think, that they have to purify themselves and all that. Actually, here, Nanda Maharaj is, the descendant, he descended from spiritual world. So, in fact, by their every step of such, great personalities on the planet, the whole planet gets purified. So he, out of humility, he wants to he wants to set an example to go to Prayag and take bath in Prayag Raj, Ganges there in Prayag Raj. So then Krishna, he wanted to reveal the position of the Vrindavan that time. So he wanted to um, also tell the position of, this is one of the pastime where he reveals the position of Vrindavan to Nanda Maharaj himself. And Nanda Maharaj sees that Prayagraj personified, he was taking bath and he was rolling in the dust, right? That is the pastime, right? Rolling in the dust of uh, Vrindavan. Rolling in the dust or taking bath in Yamuna. I'm not exactly. Someone remembers rolling in the dust. Rolling in the dust of, yeah, rolling in the dust of Vrindavan. So he wanted to reveal the glory of Vrindavan there. And there is one more pastime I was hearing from His Holiness Bhakti Samrit Swami Maharaj. So, in fact, all the Vrajavasis are very, very humble. They're very simple. So, this pastime happens near Akrur Ghat. So, Akrur Ghat, all the residents of Vrindavan, like they're very humbly, um, you know, um, they're humbly, um, pretending themselves as ordinary people, and at that particular point of Akrur Ghat, Lord Krishna, in fact, reveals Golok Vrindavan and how they are all residents of Golok Vrindavan, and they are not ordinary personalities. So this is a pastime which happens in Akrur Ghat. So we can see this kind of disposition, this simplicity in devotees, exalted personalities. Jai Sri Sri Nitai Gauranga Bhagwan ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So you can see this kind of disposition in great personalities, exalted personalities. You know, their mother and father of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ladini Shakti, Mother Yashoda. So we can see, in like these different pastimes like that, like Nanda Maharaj and all the Vrajavasis and Akrur Ghat. And here we can see Vasudev also. And we can see even and this different simplicities of these great personalities, often they need understanding. Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vijnana Bhujya. So it takes one to know one. Only when a great personality gives a complete understanding of who that great personality is, we cannot easily understand. So here we can see how Krishna is revealing the greatness of Vrindavan and Braja, Vasis, and also, I mean, like, uh, yeah, Vrindavan, in case of Prayagraj, and Vrajavasis in case of Akrur Ghat. So they need purport, they need explanation, and Krishna himself is giving a revelation, purport through revelation of all the Vrajavasis in that Akrur Ghat. So he does, such pastimes. So, and we can see Lord Ramachandra, and of course, before this, the statement is there is a chance that the sages can also get into a different kind of understanding. So, what to speak of, us, and what to speak of ordinary people. So, there are so many different ways, one can get distracted. So we can see the pastime of Lord Ramachandra also. So Lord Ramachandra honored Lord Shiva in Rameshwaram. In fact, Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that Maite Teshu Chapyaham. I am there in the heart of my devotee, and my devotee is there in my heart. So Lord Krishna also worships um, out of love his own devotees. And Lord Shiva is a pure devotee of Lord Ramachandra. He always stands the holy names of Lord Ramachandra. So it is in fact Mayavadis, it is said that Mayavadis wants to become equal to God, but devotees become greater than God, because God out of his um, I was hearing one lecture of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj yesterday. Maharaj was saying that this one of the cowherd boys, Sridama or Sudama, he actually defeated Lord Krishna. And for Lord Krishna, that kind of play, that wrestling play, and getting defeated by Sudama or Sridama, it is a kind of pastime. It is a fun for him. It is a rasa for him, that is relishing sakya ras. So just like Maharaj is giving example of a father and a child. So the child may be of 5-year-old and father may be 45-year-old, and father may take joy in getting defeated by the small child. So in a similar way, we can see Krishna. He takes a humble position, like Krishna taking a position of Parthasarathi, you know, uh, of Partha, Arjuna, and we can see here Lord Ramachandra worshipping Lord Shiva, who is his pure devotee. So he, in fact, honored all the demigods, not just Lord Shiva, he honored all the demigods. In fact, it comes in Ramayana that when Lord Ramachandra is fighting very fiercely with Ravana, so then Indra, he sends a chariot, and immediately he gets onto the chariot, and he of course he honors the person, the demigod who has sent that chariot, and then he gets onto that chariot, and he honors so many demigods, so many sages he honors in the different forests which he comes across in his pastimes, right from Chitraketu, and down when he was traveling in different forests, and he honors his own father's words, and like that, we can see so many different pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. So people only talk of this pastime of Lord Ramachandra honoring Lord Shiva, and they start speculating in their own way. So actually it needs purport. Vaishnavas, Acharyas, they tell what is the meaning of this word Rameshwaram. Rameshwaram matlab जिनका ईश्वर राम है, that is the meaning of Rameshwaram. People, they get into a different understanding, whenever. So, avajananti mam muda manushim tanumashrita param bhavam ajananto. So, I was saying that, I was reading the 10th canto. 10th canto, 4th chapter, I guess. Kamsa starts his atrocities. Kamsa actually becomes very, like after Mother Durga, this Yogamaya reveals her form as Mother Durga. So, and then disappears after that. He becomes very repentant and he starts saying, he starts talking about philosophy and all that. But again, he gets association of his demoniac ministers. And these demoniac ministers, they say that Lord Vishnu has hidden himself in the core of heart. So this is a statement they use. So, actually, you need not fear anybody. And in fact, all the demigods, they tremble the sound of your string of your bow. And some of them even took shelter of you. They surrendered unto you. They were begging you for life. And then, you out of your compassion, you gave them up. You just know your power, you know and 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 to speak of this, three personalities, Lord Shiva has already hidden himself in the heart, and Lord Vishnu has hidden himself in the core of hearts, and Lord Shiva went to forest and Lord Brahma is in already meditation. Now you are the supreme, you are the one, so there is no need to and now we will assist you in your fight with demigods. And then they went on to say some crazy advice. So you know uh, demons, they totally have a different crazy understanding of the absolute truth. Avajananti mam muda manushim tanumashrita param bhavam ajananto. Param bhavam, the supreme position of Lord, is totally unknown to this people. Muda, who are demons, or even ordinary people who have, the different atheistic mindset. So we can see the supremacy of God being revealed in Bhagavad Gita. One more statement. Lord Krishna tells, in relation to this particular statement, I'm just saying, like Lord Vishnu has hidden himself in core of heart. So Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Matstani Sarva Bhutani. It's like all the living entities are residing in me. That is Paramatma, future of Supreme Lord. And Namatstani Sarva Bhutani. This is totally contradictory. And then Krishna says, Pashyame Yogam Aishwaram. It is, behold my mystic opulence, Arjuna, he says. So it's total contradiction, So only when we understand the supreme position of God, when we understand that we cannot understand God, then we actually understand. And it is same thing in relation to the term Yoga Nidra also, similar to Yogam Aishwaram. So Lord is sleeping, but he is not sleeping at the same time. So it is not that his sleep is, we compare our sleep with his divine nature. In fact, uh, sleeping, it is like closing our eyes. And for Krishna, for Vishnu, Supreme Lord, Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti. Any of his senses, he can see with his hand also. And he can see with his feet also. So he may be, externally closing his eyes, but he is not closing at the same time. So Jiva Goswami says one of the statement. In case we get into or get um, or not get in other in direct words, if we don't get the understanding that Lord Krishna is Achintya, then immediately one becomes a Pashandi. This is a statement of Jiva Goswami. So anyway, like our Nidra and Lord's Yoga Nidra is totally different. Lord is completely transcendental and divine. So we are just infinitesimal spirit, and Lord is supreme spirit. So we it is an offense to compare Yoga Nidra to ordinary sleepy state of conditioned souls. So, like, there are some, in some organization, there is a quotation that uh, people, they think themselves on the same level of God, and they say that arise and awake. Of course, there is further statement which I don't want to say. Actually, the sun rises and it awakens everyone. But actually, in our case, we wake up and then we rise above. So that is a position of conditioned souls. So Janma Sartak Kori and then Koro Paropakar. So people wanting to take a position of God, in fact, many of this kind of, the organization which propagates this arise and then awake and stop not till whatever you want. so, so these people, they become very, very psychic actually. In fact, there are thousands of these people who committed suicides. They're very, very emotional fools. Um, like, um, like in some of the discussions, I remember. In the recent past, maybe around 1 year, I guess, 1 year, 8 months, like that. So when there was a kind of discussion that happened, and it somehow it turned into a debate. And of course, the other person, he didn't had any proper argument, to speak, you know, and he became so psychic that he was saying that I will attack you with 5 guns. You understand? His terms, like his. So like the very, very psychic, matlab, of course, he was the matter was settled and everything was over. But the point is, people are the very, very psychic, and like they have this misconception, can lead to such a big offensive demoniac um actions, or demoniac words and mindset. Jai Sri Sri Nitai Gauranga Bhagwan ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So we have to understand the supremacy of Lord. Yoga Nidra Yogam Aishwaram. Matstani Sarvabhutani Namatstani Sarvabhutani. And Lord Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Namam karmane limpanti name karma falaspriha. There is no karma that touches the Supreme Lord, and there is no question of any desire for Supreme Lord. See, when the soul, it is actually soul, which gets contaminated by karma and desires, and because of this contamination of karma and desires, so one gets different um, subtle bodies. They have different subtle bodies that get projected, which assume different or which take on to different gross bodies, like tree body, bird body, um, or animal body, cow body, elephant body, dog body, cat body, and human body, or demigod body, anybody. So there is different kind of impact of this karma and desires on the soul. Contaminate soul, which has got contaminated by this karma and desires, and the contamination of this karma and desires is only for soul, and it is never for the super soul or God. Krishna is very clearly mentioning Namam karmani limpanti name karma falaspriha. There is no need for him to do any karma, and there is no desire also for him to do any. There is no purpose also, for him to fulfill. Like the material, what do you call, the desire. I mean, there is no desire also for him to fulfill. I'm not, I just forgetting, the exact sentence of this Name Karma Phala Spriha. Yeah, there is no desire also for him to fulfill. It is not the purpose. For Krishna, the purpose is, completely divine and transcendental. So that there is no question of any desire for him to fulfill. So he has a divine spiritual form in the spiritual world, and because he's completely divine and transcendental, and he's like a huge sun planet, and this karma and the desires are like um, in fact they are obedience or disobedience to God. It is just like the sun creates the cloud. Like recently there is a lot of summer, and now there is a lot of clouds that were been formed. So it is for it is not that the cloud is covering the sun planet. It is I mean it is not that it is the cloud which is covering our vision of sun planet. It is not that cloud is covering the sun planet. So in a very similar way, this karma and this desires and this, all these different clouds, I mean the subtle clouds, it is only for the living entities, the spirit souls. This comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, when all the accumulated subtle karma and a subtle uh, what do you call subtle cloud, it actually Jai Sri Sri Nitai Gauranga Bhagwan ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So when Lord reveals his form to Brahmaji as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, so all the I mean, or I'm sorry, it is before the birth of Lord Brahma. Before birth of Lord Brahma, when that stem, when it sprouts from the lotus navel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the subtle karma, it goes along with that particular stem, and then it gets manifested in different variegated ways. So it is like the subtle accumulation of all the spirit souls. So and this is only for spirit souls. The subtle karma, desires, everything, it is only for spirit souls. And Lord is completely beyond and transcendental. So the point here, the Supreme Lord who is completely divine and transcendental to karma and the desires and all the subtle cloud, when he who is like a sun planet, when he appears in this material world, without, there won't be any contamination of this karma or desires, and without any touch of it, he appears in his self same form as he is in the spiritual world. So it's completely divine and transcendental. So Paschame Yogam Aishwaram. We are seeing, but we are not seeing. Like Duryodhana, he thought that I can easily arrest, and then the supreme universal form of Lord was revealed, and we can see the pastime of Brahmanda Leela also. So where Lord Krishna reveals his supreme, I mean the entire creation in his mouth, and Lord Ramachandra's pastime also comes, where one of the demigod, he misunderstands Lord Ramachandra, and he enters into the body of Lord Ramachandra, and he sees the entire creation within Lord Ramachandra. So it is the supreme personality of Godhead, and we need the purports of great acharyas so that we can come onto the right path, and we have to take the statements of acharyas in toto. Like only partially taking the statements, again we get into trouble. Recently, Radhesham Prabhu was mentioning the point about practice of Raganuga also. So, I mean about practice of Raganuga. So he was mentioning that there is a statement that one has to be very greedy when one is practicing or following in the footsteps of Ragatmika. And then this is one of the statement. But if you just take this particular statement that one has to become greedy to follow Ragatmika, then Radhesham Pro is saying one can get into trouble, because there is another statement of Srila Prabhupada where he clearly mentions that only when one crosses anartha nivritti can one practice this following in the footsteps of Ragatmika, which is called as Raganuga. So there are Abheda Vakyas and there are Bheda Vakyas. So everything should be taken in toto. If one takes only partial statement, then one again gets into trouble. Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Adi, Pancharatriki, Vidimbina, Aikantiki, Harer Bhaktir, Utpatayaiva Kalpate. There will be Utpat, a disturbance or a mess in the society. So the total statements of the sages should be taken. So here we see that Narad Muni is clarifying the situation there to all the great exalted personalities, which are who are all the great Brahmanas, the sages, and he is establishing the supremacy of Krishna here. So any questions? Any one question? Anyone wants to ask? Okay. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.